Hello, everyone. Welcome to the course. This is a thematic uh, introduction to the course. There's another video that you should watch, the practical course tour, which will just be more of a nuts and bolts thing about how the course will actually proceed and what your duties will be as a student, things like that. So this is a more broad introduction to what we'll actually be studying, which is moral philosophy. Moral philosophy is thinking about the basis of right and wrong, looking for a criterion of right and wrong, looking for a way of characterizing and correctly describing the basis for making moral judgments, you might say. Moral judgments are basically judgments that someone's actions are either right or wrong or don't have any moral significance whatsoever. And so, moral philosophy, at least in part, looks for the foundation, the basis for making those sort of judgments. And we will be introduced to different um, approaches to that in the first part of the course, which is basically the part of the course that deals with moral theory. We'll be looking at utilitarianism, the idea that what makes an action right or wrong is its effects on human happiness. We'll be looking at Kantianism, which may be a little bit harder to characterize, but basically the idea is that an action is right or wrong according to whether it is done in accord with the moral law. And then we'll be looking at natural law theory, theories of Thomas Aquinas, the great Catholic theologian, philosopher, saint, who also would say that morality is really a matter of lawfulness, of doing something in accord with the moral law, but in a much different way than in Kantianism. So those are the basic moral theories that we'll go into. And in doing so, and looking at these moral theories in the first part of the course, we'll be using this text, Ethics for A Level. You can open it easily just by using the link. And this is what we'll be using as our first course text. This is an open text, a free text written by some philosophy teachers in England to prepare British high school students for entrance examinations to go to college, basically, what they call university. I just thought it was a good text to use just to introduce moral theory. I wasn't so impressed with the latter part of it, so we'll only be using the first 3 or 4 chapters. But it's actually quite good. I don't know why it's not opening, but you'll see it. You just follow that link. Here it is, Ethics for A Level. So again, it's written basically for people on the cusp between high school and college, but really I think it's written at a college level, so it's actually quite good. A levels, yeah, you don't. I just explain what they were. It's not important. Just read the chapters that I tell you to read. But that's all covered in the practical course tour. So we'll be using that to do moral theory, and then we'll move to, let's say, applied ethics, which is not looking at basic moral theory so much as looking at particular moral issues and trying to find out what the right way to deal with them is. And those two moral issues are abortion and charitable giving, or obligations to give to those in need. We'll be reading 4 texts: Judith Jarvis Thompson's A Defense of Abortion, Don Marquis' Why Abortion is Immoral, and then a couple essays by Peter Singer and John Arthur on the subject of our duties to give, or lack of those duties, depending on what you think, to people less fortunate than ourselves. So that's the course. I don't think there's any reason to go any deeper into it. A course in philosophy is really unfolds with the readings. And I can tell you that the most important thing in this course is to actually do the readings. There are always a minority of students who just don't do any work, and they don't do well. So really, you should give this course time. As you well know, as a college student, there's no easy course. in college. I mean, some may be more difficult and demanding than others, but there's no such thing as an easy course. And in this course, the difficulty is actually reading the texts. Every one of these texts is um, comprehensible, and the videos that I put up should be of some help. But you do need to put in the time reading. Basically, what is this course? It's an introduction to moral philosophy, starting with moral theory and then looking at some applied moral philosophy, that is, philosophy applied to specific issues. And that'll be the course. I hope that you enjoy it. And I hope that you feel free to contact me at any time. I've put up not only my email, but my cell phone number. So if there's anything about the course that you ever want to talk about, please feel free to do so, and we can have a conversation. Welcome to the course.